Hello there, YouTube. It's your boy B3. Whew. And I'm back with another kicking, you know it, graphic novel review. Today we are looking at The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 12, Shattered Web, from the Nick Spencer run. Yeah? Yeah. Let me read you the back of the book. Recent events have taken their toll on Peter Parker's world. In the wake of Last Remains, you'll never look at Norman and Harry Osborn the same again. We know Spider-Man certainly won't. But as Spidey continues to pick up the pieces and put his life back together, the gathering storms are swirling more and more violently. Mr. Negative is back, and wants only one thing. His own alter ego, Martin Lee. But how's that possible? Meanwhile, Peter and Mary Jane have been through so much, and the specter of Spider-Man has been a constant strain on their relationship from day one. Is there anything left for them to cling to? As one era comes to a shocking end, an unexpected new day is dawning. Collecting The Amazing Spider-Man 2018 numbers 56 through 60 by Nick Spencer, Mark Bagley, Marcelo Freire, Andrew Hennessy, John Dell, Andy Owens, Wayne Foucher, Rachel Rosenberg, Edgar Delgado, and Maury Hollowell. And I'd say it's probably kind of a T for teen book, even though it doesn't totally say on the back. But, we see Norman Osborn making a deal with Wilson Fisk to use the Spot to kind of trap Kindred. And Norman Osborn has him in Ravencroft. And he's told the Kingpin that he's going to torture him for information to get what the Kingpin wants and all this stuff. But remember, this is a magically reformed Norman Osborn. So what he actually wants to do is keep Harry safe from Kingpin and help him heal. And help heal their relationship. And last time, you remember, there was an explosion that seemed to hurt Mary Jane, but she was acting, because that's what she does. She and Norman kind of planned this to kind of get Harry into this trap, etc. But we see Overdrive kind of flirt with Carly Cooper. You know, we see Mary Jane working at the Feast Center, and Martin Lee shows up, and she of course takes him in because that's what she does. And then Spider-Man breaks into Ravencroft and basically threatens Norman Osborn. He's like, look, Norman, you don't come near me or anyone that I care about in the slightest ever again. He even decks the dude. It's pretty insane. Peter is like double extra super duper hyper traumatized after this one. This one was really bad. And Carly Cooper's in the morgue. Because you remember, Kindred dug up all the dead people that were close to Peter. And she realizes that there's an extra body in the lot. And it doesn't reveal who it is to us, but she is kidnapped by one of Kindred's delicious little centipedes. How's that possible? Kindred's locked up. And then there's also a bunch of Mr. Negative's henchmen that Spider-Man has to take out because Mr. Negative is coming for Martin Lee. How is that possible? Aren't they two sides of the same coin? Don't they share a body? Well, the Mr. Negative sins are free, and they're flying around town trying to find and get to Martin Lee so that Mr. Negative can have a body again, because Mr. Negative consciousness is in those sins. And of course, eventually there's a big fight, but Martin Lee is like, look, this fight's going to destroy the Feast Center if I stay here. He willingly gives himself back to the sins so that he becomes Mr. Negative once again, especially since Martin Lee isn't Martin Lee, which is a big thing. Martin Lee is a role he took on to kind of reform himself in a way. But yeah, Spider-Man goes to tell Liz about Harry's relapse, and Normie is like, I know. And Normie reveals a bunch of goblin weapons hidden in their home, which confuses Harry because he's not using the goblin persona currently, which is odd to him that Harry has a bunch of those weapons, but he took on a non-goblin persona. So why are they in the home? It actually is a pretty interesting question. And we'll find out the answer down the line. But we see Norman have a heart-to-heart with Normie, which Spider-Man creeps on because he just despises Norman so much. We see Mr. Negative working with Kingpin, giving him this fancy alternate way to get what he wants. And Kingpin, of course, gives all the crime bosses something to do to get Boomerang and etc. And there are these tablets of like life and death that Kingpin wants to perform a certain goal of bringing someone back to life. But who is it going to be? We know he's been obsessed with his wife. But is it his wife? We'll see. Mary Jane gives Peter this way to help cope, like this therapy method that she learned from Mysterio, of all people. And then Mysterio shows up and tells MJ these horrible truths, and we see Doctor Strange confront Mephisto and asks what's wrong with Peter Parker's soul, because Peter Parker, of course, made a deal with the devil infamously in Dan Slott's Brand New Day. And then that is the end of this volume. It has a lot of unanswered questions in it, but that's good, suspense for the next book, which we will get to eventually. So that is it for The Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Volume 12, Shattered Web. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.